dreaded words? Does it have the dreaded words on it? Bioengineered food? Nope. Don't have no bioengineer modified jabazzle. You know what chemicals are?
I don't know what a basil is.
That's a word I just made up.
Oh.
Just off the cuff right there. You know what chemicals are, Ma? Chemicals are for unintelligent people to get really, really rich. I'm just going to create this chemical and we'll call it a preservative and we'll have to sell it to everyone. We'll be rich. What's the American dream? As long as we can live that best life, it doesn't matter if we shit on other people. That's the American way. That's how it is in Taos. I love when people get pissy about like pronunciations of boundaries of states of imposed, you know. I don't know. When I see what is given to me in regard to planet Earth, I just look at it as, well, nothing is like a big old sphere because I'm not there everywhere at one time unless I meditate. That's a trip. Well, the thing of it is I'm only where I am. The only thing is my AMs have been in a lot of places and I've seen a lot of different. It's just like a place is just it's real life monopoly for a selected group of people. Everywhere you go. Every town it's somebody has an idea, some group got to sit in some chair based on, as we're finding out in the USA, no experience of any kind. It's all like popularity contests like junior high. I remember that. I was in junior high. I was vice president, you know. I got to say, this was back in the early 80s, around the time that Good Morning Vietnam came out. And I always wanted to say, Good Morning CBI! Because I ran out of breath. I didn't think I was going to do that. I always wanted to do that on the microphone, but I always chickened out. I chicken out a lot of times. Don't do that. Don't do that. People are gonna think something. They're gonna think something. They're gonna think something of you, and you know what they're gonna think of you, and you're gonna feel bad for how they think about you. So don't do that. That's how I lived my life. I lived in my head, but it was a very broad spectrum in my head because I would imagine things. I would use my imagination. I would live there in the worlds I would create there. While they were significant enough to land me in a lot of psychiatric chairs where grown-ass adults would watch me as a baby just play. That's what my brain gets me. I've always been what people watch. So now I give them a show. I go out in the world, they get a show. Acting ass, I will out-ass you in the same manner in which you are being the ass. Just so you can see. Just so you can see the ass in me. There's a reflection of you. Hey, okay, hey, my name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. I like having these little talks on how I feel about things because I got to talk about things because I can't do anything. Because when I was a little kid, I imagined all the things I could do, and then they would plant seeds with things like Wile E. Coyote, and I'd picture people like mean adults. They'd get like cartoon anvils dropped on their head, and then I was introduced to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and then it's just like, oh, that just helped me give me my permission to do all the things that I wanted to do. And what I found out is even when I'm using that energy to imagine harming come to somebody, that comes back on me. It's so hard. Mom taught me that lesson when I was a little girl about how spite ain't right. And that is even thinking those thoughts. So I had to learn how to let things go. Things I would imagine. I knew that I didn't want to grow up and marry a man and have children and do all that imposed reality. I remember sometimes when I was a little girl, I would cry myself to sleep because I'd listen to my radio. I always had music, I always have music, like even if I was listening to K60 AM radio, on my little yellow radio that I had a little string. I had write it on my bike. I was always imagining. Usually it involved a pretty girl, because I would imagine that, because grown-ups around me will watch soap operas, so I'm programmed onto what women, girls like, treating them nice, because the environments I grew up in, it was not ever like it was on TV. It was harsh until like CSI came out, stuff like that, the murder shows, because we grew up in a harsh place, neighbors got murdered and shit, stabbed 11 times. I mean, just all kinds of stuff, and I know that a lot of people have gone through a great deal of efforts to hide the ugliness of what the world is because of people's free will. Understand, I was never afforded to live in that bubble. If anything, because I got Chiron in Aries, 20 degrees. It's just my role to just have to go through shit and just have to take it when people treat me like shit. I have to. Because if I retaliate, the harm I could cause is extra. So I cannot retaliate. All I can do is use my words. And I use them to say, like, the mayor in Taos is a fucking idiot. He's a little Docker douche. Couldn't change a tire. And it was funny, I went in Sierra, what is voted best flower shop in Taos. And I put on my t-shirt and I went in. I gotta get the guy's name. He's gonna buy one of my stickers from me. They should be here on the 16th. And so, I'm selling 4-inch stickers of my straight people like rainbows too here in Taos. And that's how I'm going to differentiate people that are of the same frequency of me. And I told him the story about how I made up the idea and stuff. And he's like, how the fuck did that guy get to be mayor? I mean, it was so rad. I was just like, I know. It's freaking, it's because it's all, I said, you want to know how he became mayor? Drive back on Monday nights. That's when they meet. On Monday nights, drive past the Freemason Lodge. It's right across the street from the St. James Church. See all the cars in the parking lot there, and that is how you will understand that freaking became to be the mayor of town. And it's like that everywhere, dude. They are not put in the seat to create. It's all about money. And he's trying to set himself, because he's like the director on the chair of all these non-profits that help the community. But basically it's like they pick their friends and then, get their... I'm trying to help everybody and they're just trying to set themselves up. It's just gross. I've seen it my whole life, and this is why I talk about it. And every community I've ever lived in, I have the group that lurks behind the scenes, that they watch what I do, but they never fucking come up and like want to have a conversation, It just, I know they watch I could see which videos they're watching. The one where the sheriff parked like a fucking asshole, and I talk about it. Because I fucking hate that machismo mentality, and it's in women too. And if I'm not careful, I can take on that same fucking shitty attitude and just be like, get the fuck out of my... I could flip that script and just be like, these fucking motherfuckers better recognize where I've been, and I've been to fucking war. And I don't remember seeing any of these little bitches next to me on the flight line when I was at war. So, yeah, step up. Nah. Go ahead and talk in the behind the scenes, though, and try to do stuff to make life uncomfortable for me, because that's what those assholes do. I know that. My brother's one. I looked up his name the other day, because he's a lawyer for the state of California, and they have this transparency law. You can look up any state employee and see how much they make. See what their worth is. And the last time I looked, he was at $165,000. I haven't looked in a couple of years, because it stirs things up in me. And if I'm not careful, those stirrings could evolve into fucking emotional freaking hurricanes and tornadoes. And I could get swept up in those emotions and feel like going out and taking those emotions on other people. So I just opted to take a few days to process them. And I do it to myself, you know, that's why I don't look. But I looked! Because he threw me a mom away. I went to him. See, that's why I'm not a prideful person. Because all that shit, it's never served me. It's never gotten me anywhere. I don't get embarrassed about things because that most people get embarrassed about. Because it's fucking whatever, you know. But I didn't know what to do. An organ was on fire. I only had a few $1,000s in the bank. And that might sound like a lot. The thing of it is organ was on fire. There were fires all over California. I needed a place to live. I needed help. And I went to him because he's my big brother. And I said, hey, help me find a place closer to you and the girls. And he was like upset that I moved to Oregon and I didn't move closer to the girls, I guess. Because he was like, nah. He said, nah. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to help you by not helping you. And if that is not one of the most narcissistic fucking things that anybody could ever say, I mean, he just sets himself, he's like a textbook definition, dude. It's a fucking trip. So, because he's like, I told you, you know, get rid of 2 of your dogs and put mom in a home. And you should, and okay, if I listen to my big brother, that's the advice I get. So that's what I get. That's what I should do. He's always been like that. Like if you don't listen to what I say, because he's such a he's so controlling, and he'll to this day talk about oh, she's always been emotional, you know, like she's crazy. They used to do that stuff to mom. They used to create such like taking a feral cat and then like putting it in a place where it's scared and then poking it with the stick. That's the kind of men that I grew up around. They don't help. They hinder and they antagonize and it's just gross. And they bully. The bullies. Oh my God. Yeah. And if they're acting like, you know, and if they come from the same environment and they're acting nice, most of the time there's always that air of them being condescending. Just the condescending. Oh, yeah, really? Like, oh, yeah? I know tones. I had to learn them because I fucking... Dude, it was a hard day that day when I figured out that a whole lot of the world was making fun of me. When I thought that they were being nice. So I know the fake. I know the phony. You know? Damn the Cancer rising. I'm going to try not to cry. I'm not using that t-shirt company that I came across. I'm not using them because the guy wanted fucking $38 to sew out each shirt. He has 40 heads. I wanted to get 60. So that's putting those hoops on 60 items. And he wanted 30. I guess I got a sweetheart deal when I got him from the last embroiderer, but she is only doing contract. So here's my brother has gotten promotions, see, he doesn't want the people he works with to know that he fucking hit his mother and beat his younger sister up, who was 16, when he was over 18. He was old enough, because he doesn't have emotional control. The last time we spoke, he's like, "Oh, Margie, oh, the guy is like, you could hit play, and the words that come out of his self are like the narcissistic playbook. I swear. What have you ever done for me?" I said, "Well, when you beat my ass, I didn't call the cops. When you hit mom, left the scar under her eye that I get to look at every time I see her, I'm reminded, oh, my brother did that." Because that's one thing. I've been really mad in my life. I had never put my hand on my mom out of anger. And Jerry can't say that. And now he's the assistant chief counsel for the state of California. For Office of Parole. So when people get paroled and stuff, so he has a good life from keeping people in rat cages. And I have literally done YouTube videos on the prison system. And at the time, it was back in 2017, 2018. And he said there was 190,000 inmates at the time. And for each inmate, they allocate At the time, it was like $81,000 per person for them to live in a cage. What you're really doing is you're cushioning pensions and paying, cops to fucking treat people like they're trash, and just the worst of the worst. I know my uncle was one. He worked, he got his knee taken out because somebody fucking fought back because he was just the program. My dad was one. Worked at the same Atascadero State Mental Hospital that they tried to put my mom away in. I mean, it's amazing. It's because that is why I always choose God. Do the right thing, Marge. Even when you want to fight, and even when you want to hit, and even when you want to hurt, choose the right thing. It fucking sucks, dude. I fight myself all the time. I imagine just like fucking hucking loogies in people's faces all the time just because they ask so fucking shitty. Like, you don't want to fucking act like a human being and treat other people like a human being. I'll treat you like the piece of trash that you're being. I can't do it because it's not good orderly direction. So I fight myself every day. And ever since they gave me these 8 anthrax vaccines, it's just made it harder for me to fight against myself. That's why I try to use my energy wisely and go for walks around downtown before it gets too fucking tour-on-y. Because the mayor's all about bringing people in when they can't fucking accommodate the fucking people that are already here. And I know that because I'm driving around constantly giving people water. I don't know where their open arms giving tree fucking people are. Sitting in under the air conditioning. It's just not quite time to go out yet. It's always about what's convenient for the helper, People need to be more inconvenienced, and are we seeing it? How that's showing up in America? How people haven't been inconvenienced enough, and how people in Houston are all of a sudden, they have been power without power for 2 days, We did this shit to other countries, man. We did this crap to other countries. It looks like, whenever you see a place that looks like a war zone, just think, that's what we get. That's what we get, dude. We killed so many, and people aren't dying in these, so we should at least thank you for that, Creator. And then they didn't take care of the infrastructure to begin with, so it's everything's crumbling just like... You wish we did the work, but we paid ourselves. I can't wait. I want to see a world where there's fitness standards and mandatory PT. Like they made me fucking do. When I was in the military, fat guys telling me that my body wasn't the right shape and go to the gym or we'll kick you out. Yeah. It's just all a fucking joke, dude. It's just a good old boy club. All of it. And there's women in the good old boy club. I just wouldn't go along with that shit. Yeah. Wouldn't go along with it. Talk out against it. Can't stand lazy people. Think there should be fitness standards for all police, all county employees. Hell, they get 100% fucking health benefits. We pay for that out of the taxes, and they just raise the tax rate here in Taos. People are already fucking just scraping by. So I go to the flower shop today, and I'm preaching, because I preach wherever I go. And this guy was talking, he was talking about how he doesn't like giving homeless people money. I said, so what? Because you know what? It's that mentality, because in their mind, they're going to use it for drugs or alcohol. And what you're saying is, if you were in their position, you would soothe yourself with alcohol and drugs, just like you would expect them to do. And a lot of people don't do stuff like that. And I'm trying to keep people comfortable enough in life that they don't suffer so fucking much that they turn to that blue shit that is killing people and turning people into zombies, because it sucks so bad. I know this. I've been there. I had to turn my pain into something useful. It sucks so bad when the freaking society throws you away. It hurts, especially when you do things like volunteer your life to protect people, and it's all bullshit. You find out it's all bullshit. So Jerome Allen Hessig, it's probably more than that, because it's been 2 years, and this is only up for 2022. So I'll skip the whole regular pay, overtime, other pay, total pay, benefits. I'll just give you the total pay plus benefits. $224,849.72. That is $17,000 a month. That is more than what his mother and his sister that supported him through the fucking shit years when he fucking was abusive, sucky, shitty, more than we made combined. See, he didn't want to help us because he didn't think God would see us through. He can't fucking believe that God has carried us through. He thinks it's a fucking joke that I have lived my life from my heart. He's like, you've always lived your life from your heart, and you have, and look where you're and I'm just like, dude, and I don't drink alcohol. The only medicine I do is flour. That's it. Flour. Because I am so inflamed, I gotta stay chill. And I'm always looking for like CBD oils and tinctures. But I gotta be careful about what they freaking emulsify it. And I'm done with freaking true hemp science. I mean, I tried it. It's meh. You know, there's other people I'd rather support local. And I always think it's funny. I did this picture. I made it. I finally made it. I pictured this. When I was in Texas, Mom was put from an orphanage in El Paso that wasn't very kind to her. Yeah, when she was a little girl baby, first 3 years on the planet, broken feet, like her parents threw away because they were her dirty secret because they couldn't keep it in their pants up in Cuesta. It's a common story. She just got thrown. This happens to so many. But so many people, you know, that have families and a support system, you don't fucking think about anybody else but your goddamn selves. So you don't know about how we exist, and we're just trying to freaking stay cool when it's hot, stay warm when it's cold. But fucking people like you don't think fucking people like us deserve to fucking live because we don't do anything. Because Mom got her head slammed in a car door because she was a pretty woman, and people fucking beat her ass because she was tiny, and she was so subservient for a long time. And then she had me as a daughter, and you know what I fucking taught her? Fight. If they put hands on you, you better fucking fight back and be the person walking away. And she would always fight from that point on. Huh, Mom? Learn how to fight, huh? Take care of yourself, because you were never taught. Sometimes the kids teach the grown-ups. It's actually, that's more the case, but the grown-ups are too busy saying, we know what's best. Let's program them and dumb them down. And now we have a whole society of a civilization of people in America that they can't fucking take care of themselves. Whether they're just... I'm the highest on the I don't see people on the autistic spectrum that have been the fucking places that I've been. I haven't seen them. They're not there. So they probably don't function as high as me. Because I've had to, do this, go to college, why do it? Just my neurodivergence is like, off the charts, while taking care of my mom, while trying to cope with the world. And then they fucking drop this COVID shit. I'm like, dude, this is what I've been telling them about for years. And then it's happening. And now people are going back now and watching my old videos, and they're saying, oh my God, this bitch she ain't lying. And then all these other people that I've known for years, they say things like, yeah, Marge, she's never been a liar. She might be freaking have a short fuse, get mad because she cares too much. She might be these other things. She's not a fucking liar. And they will find out about my brother. And I think it's weird that like he probably told people that like I died in an accident, like I don't exist. Because that's what people like that do. And he sleeps so good every night. His top teeth. I found these pictures of him. I found these because when these turned one, they like did her christening. and I went home. I went back to California. To be there, because I always wanted to be there in my niece's life, and the most hurtful thing he could do is keep her from away from me, and that's what he's done. So that's just something else. You gotta let things go, because if you don't let stuff go, you're gonna get cancer in your butt. But if you know, see, I never trust. That's one of my earth legends. One of the clues that I gave to myself ever since I was a little girl. And I point the TV up at Bill Cosby and point and go, bad eyes, bad eyes. I'd always point out people's eyes. Bad eyes, bad eyes. They have bad eyes. And another thing is people with no lips. I don't trust people without lips. Like, I don't trust what people say that pass through without lips. This dude, he don't got no lips. And if you look at the top, you can't see, but his top teeth are messed up. There's this belief that I have, and it's a whole study. I can't remember what it's called. But I've had these beliefs since I was a little girl, and then God reveals to me these other people with these beliefs, and then they put terminology onto it. But I'm like, oh, it's just a fancy way of saying, I don't know, like, your teeth are tied to organs in your body and stuff like that. People take such terrible care of their ecosystem. And so, and there's like astrology tied to it. Usually when people have resentments against their mother, are mad at their mother, their top teeth are fucked up. And when they're pissed at their dad, that's their bottom teeth. Well, I guess I did a pretty good job at letting go all that anger and animosity that I had back when I was a little girl. That shit don't matter no more. He was always a teeth grinder. Like, you could hear him from one end of the house. Like, I woke up, he woke me up in the middle of the night. I was like, what is that? I couldn't picture. I was like, was one of the cats scratching on something? And I went down to, this was on Manzanita when we lived across from Mission Square. And I went down there and he was like gritting it. That's some like, I wonder what his trauma was, because he was never around when I had mine. And then, no, actually, that's funny, because there was one time the neighbor kids did some weird stuff to me with pencils and stuff and had their way. And I was just a people pleaser, and I went along with it. And then it was determined, no, that's wrong, you don't do that. And he got mad at me because because I was disrupting the peace. Like, you know, that he's been that way my whole entire life. Like, shit would happen to me, and I was and now he's a lawyer. And that's why I don't have any faith in the legal system, because they're all comprised of freaking people just like old Jerome. I mean, I didn't ever do nothing that freaking warranted the shitty treatment. I mean, I was sober for 14 years. I drank. I didn't do anything to him. I drank, and, you know, and then I've been sober after I took that first, it was like 7 months. I dabbled, and I'm like, no, it takes your spirit. It hasn't changed. And I got to keep my spirit, so 29. I look at the round, all these people have sold their soul, man. Well, that's me. I was like 200 pounds. My little niece. Yep. This is the last. She's 16 now. But I'm not allowed. People cut me off, and that's what those politicians do. They create all these stupid rules and regulations and policies and procedures in which people just can't even tolerate. Like, they can't, because they're just going around living their best life, doing whatever. They're not impacted. They got all the parking spaces. It doesn't impact them at all. It doesn't inconvenience them. And what you do, I was explaining to the guys at the plant store, and I was getting soil today. I said, you back people in a corner, they already have nothing to lose. Those are the people that are going to start fighting back. Like, people are like, Like, and then they're not turning on the power because they're doing. I mean, like, they're doing weird shit in Houston. But as I always understood it, you know, I mean, ain't nobody. My grandma was born in San Antonio, I guess, and then they left when she was like 12. But then they went back. She went back when I graduated basic training when she was 80, and so she got to see that place again. But, hold on a second. Where is it? It's funny. I think it's funny. Because my mind, because Texas never did me no favors. And I always thought that it looked like, by shape-wise, it looks like a toilet to me. And so I put a side-by-side next to there of a toilet. And then, yeah. And, because there's a lot of people from Texas that come to Taos and just take up fucking space. I get when people want to travel around and see how things are. But I always understood that if you go to a place, to leave that place better than you find it. And they fucking don't. But see, the thing of it is, Taos is bought and paid for. They're setting it up how some like the person that, and a person that has great influence in Taos is the fucking person that owns the Taos Ski Valley. Like they do cloud seeding here to make it snow. And then they'll put an article in the paper asking permission. Hey, there's this technology. Is it okay if we do cloud seeding? And then the town stands up and says, no, you can't do cloud seeding. It's poisons, it's toxins, it's barium and aluminum. It's all this stuff, then you can't do that. And they're like, oh, okay, all right, we won't, all right. You told us. All the while, for years prior, they're doing it. And then they continue like, you know, because they don't care. They're going to do what they fucking want to do because it's all about money. And I'm not a fan of ski resorts and shit like that, you know, because, God, it's like it's like you have people, it's all for play, people that play. And they don't deserve it because they don't do the fucking work. Because if they did the work, the cracks of society. If you want to fucking come here, put your fucking money where your heart is and give people that are on boots on the ground, give them fucking, help them sustain the lowest of the population. Because it's the people on the bottom, they are the spirits that you have to raise the most. Because I've been there. I know. Because society will continue to decline because the bottom is only going to get wider and wider and all of America is going to come falling through. Because why? They're selfish and greedy. That's trippy to me, man. Civilization is falling. Right on schedule. 2 more years for the 250 mark. When I was a little girl, I didn't think I'd grow up to see the end of America as, well, corp America. It's evolved into something gross just because people, you know, because a whole bunch of people have the same fucking brain space. So don't you know who I am? Yeah, you're a dipshit who couldn't fucking change a tire in the desert to save his family. That's who you are. And there's so many more like ya. These people getting stuck in like floods and stuff like that. Oh, this chick on social media, I was like, because this was when Rio Cedo, whatever, that place that burnt down and then it flooded. This was like 5 weeks ago when it did it. Now it's flooding again. And so, but the first time they're like, FEMA's gonna come in and help. And I'm just like, so somebody posted that it flooded yesterday, and then there was like a tornado down there. This ain't supposed to be Tornado Alley, but it's there because we all gonna get our karma. We're all gonna get what we get from all of what we put out, and not just us, But the behavior that we've continued, the toxic behavior from our mommy, the same, and their parents, and if you're still benefiting from the shit that makes the cry, you guys are gonna get it worse. Everybody's gonna get a chance to bend over, flinch, and take whatever you get. Because whatever you dished out, however many people you drove by that needed help, it's going to be magnified. I told the dude, I said, remember in Cocoon at the end? Because he's about my age. He's like, yeah. I said, that's what we're coming up on now. A whole lot of people should have just helped. Instead, they hindered. Mom watches a show. She used to watch a long time ago, and when I get up, like when I go get a haircut and stuff like this morning, I'll turn on her show. It's Rockford Files. It's on Roku. And there's all kinds of Freemason shit. I mean, that's how I know this stuff exists, because I mean, I've been exposed to it ever since I was little. My brother's a fucking Freemason. They're all Freemasons. It's all big stupid. It's all limp dick energy, man. All of that stuff. It's just all so stupid. And because there's only so many positions in every job. There's only so many positions. So whenever like that mentality, the fraternity, you know, my brother lives where he lives because of a fraternity brother. Like he has energy, and he's one of them skull and bones, and he just sacrificed. He and his mom. He just didn't. Anyway, I digress. What was I saying though? I started to say something. Oh, thanks, Ma. I appreciate that. I didn't know. I didn't know if you were listening. You heard me ramble on so many times. Oh, I was what I call today's talk. I'll talk about that since impose reality. And that's what whenever somebody tells you, oh, that's not how it is, it's this way. They're trying to interject a way of thought. They're not letting you be free to perceive the reality based on your frame of reference. And I'm extremely against that. And so now this it's all coming out. We never been to the fucking moon, dude. I was in the military. It's amazing those fucking planes got off the ground. Because all of the money is spent on the higher ups looking good and having big important building and offices with their underground bunkers that we pay for. And they don't pay tax on anything. They go, it's like there's no dry country when it comes what America wants to do. People are surprised that Texas is a dry county. Or it's a dry state. You can't buy booze on Sundays. Oh, well, you can if you're enlisted. The BX Class 6. There's always whatever you can't do, there's always groups of people that are like, haha, fuck them. Yeah, we can. And now all that's crumbling down. I don't think there's going to be elections. They can't. All of the curtains are falling. All of the pulleys and the wheels and all the stuff that they use for the behind the scenes to make people believe that this is how things are, they can't hold it up anymore because truth weighs heavier. Truth is the highest frequency. Authenticity, that is so much higher than love because love is subjective. See, I was one of those people. I had terrible shit happen to me when I was a little kid. That's why I protect kids. My FYP is all about these people going and confronting predators and stuff like that. I will pray for the grace that I will need the day that I come across a predator. I'll see if I've done the work. I hope I have. Because something about and then there's too many people that did the opposite. They didn't become the protector. They became the predator themselves. And they all wear the same clothes, and they all drive the same cars, and they all have the same attitudes. Greasy, dirty. And they're everywhere. I've been cleaning off the freaking nasty shit off their computer. For 10 years I did that. I know who they are. They have a smell. It's disgusting, dude. So more and more people are figuring it out. Because I've always been that person. I don't see something, say something. I feel something, I say something. Because people can think whatever they want of me. If I'm right, I'm going to make someone real fucking uncomfortable. I'm ready for a lot of people in this country to be terribly, terribly embarrassed because of their past transgressions now to be brought to light. Based on just their free will. They didn't have to do that thing. They just couldn't help themselves. And these people that have lived like that when they were younger, they just get better at hiding it. That's why they have their secret weird butt stuff groups, because birds of a feather. So, consequences. There's consequences to people's actions, behaviors all the time. All the time. That's why every day I freaking travel with my protection stones, and I'm always freaking praying for edge of protection from the freaking people that don't want good things for me. Because it seems like if more people wanted good things for me, they would have been more inclined to step up and make themselves known, and they didn't do that. So when people are, usually I have that. If they are not for me, well, they're not for me. And so I'm real careful about who I spend my time with. My circle's a dot, huh, Ma? Yeah. I'm getting the house in order. I took a couple days off. I haven't felt like freaking that's what it was, is I went out there one day to put stuff in the bins to storage unit, the storage stuff, so I can go get stuff out of the storage and then bring it back and stuff like that. I want to get rid of the storage unit. That's just another expense that we don't need. I don't want to have part of my stuff someplace else. But it was like 4 days ago. The bugs were so bad. There are these little gnats out there, and I've never experienced like they were everywhere. I had to start walking around with my mouth closed because they were going in my mouth, like in my eye, like they were. I'm like, what is this? I wonder if someone was putting some black juju on me. So I was like saying some prayers and stuff. Like, what is this? You know. The next day, it wasn't like they were all over the ground. I blocked off the back part of the yard so the dogs couldn't go back there. It's better now, but I was just like, man, infestations are such a trip. Like, there's so many of something and then it's just gone. It's just so bizarre. So, anyway, we're staying close to home because, there ain't much out there for me. There's just a bunch of people that freaking, unpurposefully just roaming the earth. I never got to be one of those. So anyway, Rockford Files has some of the greatest lines, and one of the lines that I heard this morning, I was like, I gotta write that one down. He said, let's just talk about the troubles that are outside your head. Huh? Isn't that funny? He said, let's just keep it to the troubles that are outside your head. Because I grew up I lived in my head. I was one of those. Well, I would always differentiate, okay, the experience you're having, you're in your head. Not everybody else's. And a lot of people, they don't make that, they can't tell the difference. They think that the experience that they're having, everyone else is having. That's why there's stalkers and stuff like that. And, people get a frequency, they get data information presented to them that's one way, and everybody else is perceiving it real different. So that's why I don't know, I'm not so neurotypical. I try to engage with people. I'll try, and if they don't, and if they don't engage back, I'm not going to engage with it. I'm not. So, and I'm real selective about who I engage with anyway. I look everybody up. And it's so funny. When I was looking up my brother the other, because like you put in your name in a search engine, or you put in my name, or you're gonna find like social media and stuff like that. And my brother had his social media. He with the year he was in Iraq, he had Facebook, and then he got back and deleted it. And so and he's never like outside of that. But still, like there's new like everybody, I think comes up in a search engine, I think, and somehow, like, no? I got a vast digital imprint. Like, the clearances that I've had in my life, there's been a large number. I mean, well, just between G4S Secured Solutions, I was the third largest company in the world, and then I worked at Creighton, and they had, like, I don't know, with online students and on campus, they had 8 to 10,000 students that I was in the Air Force. I mean, that was a worldwide, I mean, my digital imprint has been vast. So, yeah, I'm not going to go out in the world because I just keep thinking about, how your mom says, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Yeah, well, my mom never told me that. So I'll just stay at home. Because now it's just like you can't even say anything because it's like, call the police. You're under arrest for hurt feelings. I mean, how many people are in jail or been put in jail because somebody said, you're a fucking dumb shit cop. And when the cop was, in fact, not more than a dumb shit. So, because they don't do anything to better their own lives. And it's evident in the way they let themselves go, or how they didn't continue education or try to find a spiritual path or do anything, other than collect a paycheck and eat a bunch of free meals. So, anyway, I was going to tell some more stories. I think I'll leave it. So yeah, I'm not ordering t-shirts. So I'm gonna call this other t-shirt company when I get done here out of Illinois and see if what they're willing to do, if they're willing, because it's just like shit. I know. I guess I had a sweetheart deal, but still, $38 per t-shirt. It was like $2,200 fucking dollars to have 60 t-shirt made, and I'm just like, no, dude. The price is supposed to go down lower as you get more, and that ain't it. So. Anybody in the talkie room? My body hurts. The video I put in, that is a movie that I watched. Hey, PETA, when I was like had an upset belly, because I always process my stress through my stomach, so I have an upset stomach. When I was a little kid, a lot. It's amazing I don't have ulcers, but I was really physical, so I would burn the toxicity of the gas that's created from emotional stress that turns into physical stress. It's like I had this intuition of knowing how to do that. And Mom would also press upon me of using my energy wisely. And so, oh, did I lose it? I think I lost it. I've been getting up at like 2:30 in the morning and staying up for a couple hours. I almost did a talk in the middle of the night last night. I almost did it. But I opted to try to go back to sleep because I didn't want to, I had a haircut this morning at 9 and I didn't want to doze back to sleep, and like, I didn't want to mess with that. So when I was telling a little girl story. Oh, the song that I put in the link. And that was a movie that I would watch. I saw it like it was one of those. It'd be on like 3-4 o'clock in the morning or something, totally obscure. Like, I wonder how many people saw that movie back then. It's called Electric Dreams, and it had Virginia Madsen in it. And I was like, I fell in like I had a whole planet Earth created as my significant other back then, and she's not the same anymore. Anyway, so she was a real pretty lady back then, and she played like a cello, and then she met a computer programmer, and that was the song that the computer wrote for her because the computer fell for her. It's called Electric Dreams. I wonder if you could find it on Roku. I'm gonna look it up. And so the thing of it is I understand the importance of how important our thoughts are, and not to have like negative thoughts, spiteful thoughts, thoughts of animosity, things like that, right? Like, don't think ill in your thoughts, right? Because it changes the vibrational frequency of the 70% of the water that's in you. So be careful. So whenever like I get scared or like, things like that, that song, there's a part in it that I just repeat over and over, and I have ever since I was. So for 40 years, I had this little tune about love is love is love is love is love. That whatever I replace like when I'm like with that. It's practice, man. You gotta practice, not being like. I get what my astrology placements are, and I have to work so hard to live against them. Everybody has their free will, and people have always said that to me, like, well, you're just choosing to be hurt, and stuff like that, all that stuff. And I'm like, well, it kind of hurts my feelings that you didn't go to my high school graduation. Oh, well, then if you want to be, all that stuff, like people never validating and all that. That goes someplace. It goes out into the atmosphere, and more people are creating these animosic gases, and there's going to be combustion, and it's happening. And I just am grateful that Mom taught me how to just let things go, and for the most part I do. Not always. I don't always let things go. I hope to practice to, for that to happen less as I get older. But I'm a spiritual being, and I'm having a human experience just like all these other people around here. It's just so weird to me how people do, how they spin their free will. It's like, you got free will. What are you doing with it? Oh, I sit on my couch. I surf on the computer all day. I eat whatever I want. I never exercise. It's that. There's a lot of people out there that need help. Who's going to do it? All these people doing nothing. And more people are going to start needing shit. Like, people are like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. We've been without power for 2 days. I'm cooking with these candles. I'm making ravioli. Okay, what about 6, 7, 8 days? We're all the workers. Like it is America's a third world country now. We did it to ourselves by doing it to others. That's what I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.